Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Horse Good Band with Bojan. I'm the Bojan in question, and today we have a question that was placed on my Prayer to Saints in the Bible video from Boban Orlovic. His question is: people didn't pray to saints in the whole Old and New Testaments. It is strange that Christians began to do this. Definitely needs an explanation. Did Jesus give that people omniscience? Something changed here. Something did change. Christ arose from the dead. Christ liberated all the souls of the dead from Hades. Christ made us new Israel. Christ invigorated us with his life-giving body and blood that does not die. We are communicants of Christ's risen, resurrected, and transfigured body. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living. That is what did change, and that is the reason why we do not have prayer to saints in the Old Testament, because they were all in Sheol, in Hades. They suffered this horrible, bleak, dark existence that had some consciousness in it, but was generally very depressive. However, once Christ descended to the dead after his crucifixion and he has liberated all the souls, as St. Peter says in his epistles, when spirits in the dungeon were preached, those souls were liberated and they can hear our prayers. How they can hear our prayers? They're not omniscient. That's most probably not the case, but because they're partakers of the divine nature, God may grant them some supernatural abilities. For example, when saints are clairvoyant, that does not mean that they know everything, but they know what they need to know, even that knowledge is outside of their scope of perception. So, when a saint hears our prayer, he or she is aware of our prayer to them. They might not be necessarily aware of everything that happens on earth, but as we can see from the Revelation, the martyrs under the altar are aware of what's happening on the earth, and so are the 24 elders. So why is not the prayer recorded in the New Testament? Well, you know, this is based on a false notion. This is based on a false notion that we do need to get all the doctrine and the morals directly from the Bible, which is a good starting point, but is a bad when it comes to the ending point, because a couple of things. There's not a whole lot of prayer recorded in the New Testament. We barely have a description of Christian worship in the New Testament, because it is something that simply people did. People started to pray to saints because it felt the most natural thing to do. And when you see how the Romans and the Egyptians described early Christians, you would see that they would describe Christian care for the departed as very foreign to these pagan cultures. They treated dead bodies as if they were the most precious treasure, because the body is to arise and the soul is, by the grace of God, immortal. So, yeah, something did change, and that is called the resurrection of Christ, and that is why we pray to the saints. No, they're not God. They do not have any power by themselves. They're not God, but Christianity is a religion of community. Apostle tells us often that we should pray for one another and that we should seek other people's prayers, and that is what we do. We pray to the saints and we pray for the saints, because every divine liturgy is in a way a memorial service for the saints themselves, as it says, in honor of our most blessed, glorious Lady Theotokos and Saint John the Baptist and all of the saints, and so on and so forth. So we pray for them, they pray for us, and we foster that community by not forgetting their names, by reading their lives, and so on and so forth. I hope this was of some use to you. Bye.